G'day, mates. We're looking at something different. That's right. We're looking at Australia, but Darwin, Australia. So we're way, way up top in the Northern Territory. Now, I've seen it on maps. I've heard a little bit about it from some of you guys through messages and comments and things, but I really have not explored it on video a lot, and I want to change that. I'm slowly but surely getting to where I'm studying different areas, different cities, because it's fun, right? And they all have their unique flair, their advantages, their disadvantages, all these things. I like exploring some of the lesser known things as well. Without seeing much, just from what I do know, the little bit I do know, yeah, it's way up here, somewhere up here on the coast, and I imagine it's way different from, say, like Hobart, Tasmania, right? Both Australia, but totally different. That's how big it is, and that's how fascinating it is as a country. Just like in the U.S., if you're in like Juneau, Alaska, or Miami, Florida, it's going to be way different. Same country, way different landscape, and they're so far away from each other. It's like crazy to think that they're the same country. That's what I'm getting at. Let's check this out. This is from Expedia. It'll be linked in the description down below. And here we go, guys.
Darwin is the capital of the Northern Territory.
Look at it.
In a place Australians like to call the top end.
The top end.
Situated at the edge of the Timor Sea, the city is closer to Bali than Australia's other major capitals.
Okay, let me just interrupt real quick. First of all, it's closer to Bali in Indonesia than it is, say, to Sydney or Melbourne. Kind of crazy, right? And also, whenever you see Google Earth, I haven't been on Google Earth in a long time. I regret that. When you see it zoomed out and then zoom in closer and closer, and then you get to this kind of point of view we're at now, it really kind of shows the scale of like, oh, Australia is huge. Crazy stuff. Oh, it looks beautiful. Very warm and tropical up here, yeah? Totally different weather from what I've heard from some of you guys than you would expect on the East Coast or down south or whatever. Maybe a little more consistent and like always hot up here. I don't think it snows in Darwin.
Traditionally the home of the Larrakia people, Darwin was settled by Europeans in 1869. The city's isolation has meant that its population has always been low.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the locals like it.
I'm sure.
Darwin is very much a gateway city. It's the gateway to wild outback adventures.
Oh.
It's the gateway to the Aboriginal Dreamtime. And
Amazing.
It's the gateway to a relaxed state of mind that you can only appreciate once you're here.
That looks awesome. Wow, look at that. Beautiful.
On Thursdays and Sundays, half the city gathers at the Mindle Beach
Wow.
markets. Here, the aromas of cuisines from all over the world.
Look at that. Oh my God, I love all the styles, the colors. Oh my goodness, how
Here,
cool.
the aromas of cuisines from all over the world
And the cuisines.
mixed together under the tropical sky, creating
Wow.
the perfect
Mexican
essence of
kitchen,
today's
all right.
multicultural Darwin. At sunset, head down to the beach for the best show in town as the sun dips into the Arafura Sea. Then catch a
Bravo.
double feature under the stars at another local institution, the Deck Chair Cinema.
Oh, that is so cool.
But
Yo.
life here hasn't always been this easy going. During the Second World War, Japanese warplanes dropped more bombs on Darwin than on Pearl Harbor. You can learn more about those dark days and about the city's ongoing military significance at the Defense of Darwin experience.
That's terrible, by the way. I'm sorry to hear that. I have heard from many of you guys, actually, about that. I've never gotten to do a video on that. So maybe I should look into that to learn it together all at once on video. That's really interesting. Wow.
And the Australian Aviation Heritage Centre.
Really cool. I
At
love
the
the
Darwin
old
Museum
planes.
and Art Gallery, learn how Darwin was tragically flattened again in 1974, this time by Mother Nature.
Jeez.
The museum and art gallery is also the perfect introduction into local cultures. and the territory's unique natural
Oh,
environment.
that's so cool.
While you're here, say hello to Sweetheart, a rogue croc that developed a taste for small aluminium boats before he was finally caught.
Wow. What a sweetheart.
Sweetheart's
Yeah, all
much
right.
quieter these days, but you can still experience the awesome power of Australia's salt and freshwater crocs at Crocodilus Park. Just a 15-minute drive from Darwin, the park is home to over 1,000 crocs. From
Well, there you go. That's first place I'm going, right? Not.
hatchlings to
That's
adults
crazy,
weighing
man.
over half a ton.
I mean, to be fair, it would be fun to see. From far away, very controlled environment. Yeah, don't want to be this guy's lunch, that's for sure. But they are like, look at that. That's a dinosaur. That is like Jurassic Park, in my opinion, in Darwin. It's crazy.
But to get close, real close, make tracks to Crocosaurus Cove,
No
right in the
thanks.
heart of the city. Have a go at feeding the crocs.
I
Or
mean-
better still, climb into the cage of death.
Okay, feeding on that platform, I felt like you were a little high up. That's actually kind of cool. Gotta admit, maybe I would try that. This, hell no. No way.
Be lowered into a tank with some of the largest captive salties on the planet.
No, thank you. You're going to have to comment below if you've ever done that and tell me why the hell did you do that?
Of course, seeing crocs in captivity is just a little top-end taster. For the best holiday snaps of all, hit the road to adventure.
Oh, beautiful.
There's over
Oh.
60 national parks in the
Wow.
Northern Territory, 20 in the Darwin region alone.
60 national parks in just the Northern Territory. Wow. That is actually spectacular. Considering I think there's just over 60 national parks, I think like 64 or something, in the whole of the United States. Not just, one state. Like that's insane. 20 just around Darwin alone. Wow.
If you ask a local for their
That's
favorite,
awesome.
chances are they'll quietly point you in the direction of Litchfield National Park. Just an hour and a half from Darwin, Litchfield
Beautiful.
is set around
Oh,
a sandstone plateau, crisscrossed by deep, narrow gorges,
Wow.
filled with monsoon forests and croc-free swimming holes.
That is
On your
insane.
way into the park, stop to check out the magnetic and cathedral termite mounds.
Yeah,
and when
that's
it's time to
right.
cool off, immerse yourself in the pure, refreshing waters of Bewley Rockhole, a series
I'm telling you guys, all of Australia is beautiful, and I love the variety, and there's so many places I would love to see. But I tell you what, this is calling me right here. Like, this is my thing. Wow. Like, when you have the beautiful sandstone, this almost, this obviously, like, desert-like landscape, but then you do have some lush parts with, like, the waterfalls and the greenery. It is just something else, guys. Like, this is my vibe. I love this right here. I think Northern Territory might be a little bit underrated, right? Or a hidden gem. I feel like it just gets it never gets talked about. I don't know why. It looks epic.
of pools which cascade down the hillside to spectacular Florence Falls.
Wow, that looks just amazing. Oh my
A little
goodness.
further into the park are Tolma and Wangi Falls.
Wow.
Step into
They're
the
everywhere.
primordial waters and let your worries float away.
What a dream. That looks like a dream, man.
Then climb into the stone country above and let your spirit drift off into a land that time forgot.
That looks, yeah, that's a good way to put it. That looks
But if you
That
want
looks like prehistoric, right? And I mean that as a compliment. It looks like you stepped into a storybook in prehistoric times, and it's just this raw earth, right? It looks untamed. It's beautiful.
to step further back in time into a place Australia's Aboriginal people know as the Dreamtime, head to Kakadu. Half the size of Switzerland and home to 1/3 of Australia's bird species and some of the world's oldest art galleries. Kakadu is more than a national park.
Oh, yeah.
It's a national treasure.
Yeah. Amazing.
Whether you've explored the outback for a few days or a few months, there comes a time when everyone begins to long for the creature comforts of the city. And this is where Darwin comes into its own.
Yeah.
It's the perfect gateway back into the world. And not just any world, but the way the world should be. Big-hearted, relaxed, and forever connected to the rhythms of nature and the human spirit.
Awesome. Oh, look at that. That is an epic sunset. Can't argue with that. Look at that pink sky. Everyone's having a good old time on the water. Wow, there it is. Darwin, man. Yeah, got to give a round of applause there. That is just a short synopsis on what you can expect there. Turn to you guys. What are your stories about there? Do you live there? How do you love it? Not how do you like it? How do you love it? I mean, it looks like a great place. And of course, have you gotten to take a, like a road trip there or whatever if you don't live there? And am I right on that? Like, do you feel like the Northern Territory as a whole, or even Darwin, is just kind of flies under the radar? Do you think it's talked about less? Remember, I'm still an outside perspective, but I feel like it's definitely under the radar compared to, famous Sydney and Perth and Gold Coast and all these different places, right? Seriously, that was really cool footage there. I would like to enjoy learning about even more, because this was, of course, very broad and very brief. But yeah, from what I saw, I liked it. In closing, guys, can't wait to hear what you have to say. And of course, look for that description for this original link and other ways you can interact with me and stuff like that. Throw a like on there if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. I'll catch you later.